And here we are again with box number 11. This is another heavy one. I suspect it's mostly books. One interesting thing is that on the outside I found this Post-it, which I put on in America, that says Mags and Miscellaneous, what is that, toys? Mags and Miscellaneous Toys. Interesting. Hopefully it's nothing that can't go on YouTube. And if it is, well, too bad. That's my life. Unmonetizable. My unmonetizable life. That's what this is called. All right. So, starting off strong here with something that is stuck to the box with a piece of blue tack, it looks like, ruining its computer usefulness. But I think I know what this is. This is an old Apple II motherboard. I'm pretty sure it's Apple II, yeah, 1983, which could actually, no, excuse me, it's an original Macintosh motherboard. Now with some blue tack on it for some weird reason. Geez, I hope that can be removed if it has to be. But anywho, oh yeah, this is a lot of cool junk. This may take a while, actually. I'll just focus in there, make sure we're good. Yep, that's pretty good. All right, let's see. Timex Sinclair. This was a computer advertised in the back of TV Guide for $99. Has the, what's that called, membrane keyboard. And in the back, it took an RS-232 expansion, well, RS-232 style, I don't know the details. And I have one of the expansion things here. This is the 1015 expansion. So this would just go pop right back in here, like so. I think. And what is it? It's, yeah, there it goes. Well, I'm not going to force it, but you get the idea. I believe this was a memory expander. Anyway, I have some bittersweet feelings about my computer collection because most of it was left in Oberlin, Ohio to be sold by someone who turned out to be less than honest, or at least less than competent. And I'm contemplating legal action against them right now. So at the moment, I have a fairly sizable computer collection that's stuck in a consignment shop's basement, guarded over by somebody who is sort of in denial that it exists, and it's a mess. Anyway, random stamps. I think this might be from when I was a kid, but I'm not that into stamps right now. So this, I think, well, let's see. It's in the case of an old pocket computer. Some cables. This could actually be for the pocket computer itself. I think it is the power supply for get in there. For the pocket computer? Yeah, that appears to be, well, Texas Instruments. Hard to tell. Anyway, boy, I'm going to have a hard time figuring out where I'll file all of this stuff. Some more tchotchkes, cute little skunky thing, and other furry stuff. Oh, and asterisks, just little things that I picked up along the way. This looks like it contains a... Yep, indeed. Oh, good. Look, I have another lens. I remember I thought that I had lost this lens, and then it turned up again. It's a stock Canon lens, not valuable, but you know, maybe I can use it, maybe I can sell it. So in another box, I mentioned that I was very into dolphins, and I had some dolphin statuettes as a kid. This was one of them. This was the one that I liked the most. Yeah, I'm definitely going to display this in a prominent place because I really like it. This was another one which not as interesting or important. It's made of plastic. And unfortunately, it broke somewhere along the way, so I kind of hold on to it out of sentimentality. But okay, a USB floppy drive, 3.5-inch floppy drive, very useful because I do actually have some floppies sitting around. Then we have some older computers. Anyone remember slide rules? My dad actually used these in, I assume, in middle school and high school, and then. I don't remember if this was one of his or if I picked this up somewhere else, but I know how to use a slide rule very slightly. Shamefully not as well as I should. Here's an early iPod. I bought this when they were no longer fashionable at this age. I wonder if this has any value. This is not the very first model, which had a physical touch wheel, but it's fairly early, and it's in a little case, and it has the power bar, the power supply here. So, who knows? Oh, good. Nice remote control. Now we're getting down to some slightly more fun stuff. More little dolphins. Yay, hopefully they're intact, more or less. Another slide rule. A pen. Oh, good. A little thing for my label maker. Some magazines. Oh, men's magazines. Oh, these are always kind of fun. Has there ever been a period in history when men weren't hopelessly insecure? Certainly not the 50s, which is when I think this is from. My parents had a largish collection of baby books from like the 30s and 40s, and I think that they kept them ironically, like to show, oh my God, look at how horrible this information was when we were growing up in the 30s. Or maybe this was actually for us kids, since my oldest sibling was born in 1959. Oh, this is a fascinating bit of history. These are, this is a catalog of plays, and they're minstrel plays. That is for white people to go on, not only white people, white high school and middle school kids to go on stage and act like cartoon blacks. Let me see if there's a postmark on these. I don't see a date, but I'll just open one of these. I have two of these books here. And it's every bit as bad as you think. Denison's Makeup Guide. Yep, check it out. Indeed or Dodd. And what is the date on this? This is out of Chicago. Now I'm really... 1941. Wigs, beards, and all that sort of thing. And as you can see, it's pretty much all minstrelsy. I mean, not all of it, honestly, but it's basically racial stereotypes and ethnic stereotypes. You've got the Chinaman and the gypsy and so on. Not characters, but caricatures. And this one, I think, is a catalog of plays. Yeah, this is a catalog of basically minstrel plays, among other things. We don't have to go through this. I mean, I'm sure there's some good stuff in there, but most of it is pretty cringe, I'm sure. Unrelated, my father actually had a good business for a while writing short plays for students. This was long after this period, and I'm sure none of them have minstrel elements in them. I really actually would like to go back and read those. All right. Magazines are fascinating, and it's going to be tempting to go into each and every one of the ones that we see here, but I'm going to try not to do that because I don't want this to take forever. But we have some TV guides, probably 70s. Oh, check it out. Young Robin Williams. We have a whole lot of automotive magazines here from the 1950s. Yeah. I'll just leave those in here. 1989 San Francisco thing. Ooh, I was into unicycling when I was a teenager, and I was a member of the Unicycling Society of America, and I loved these magazines. This was great. It just goes to show you, though, that no matter what you're into, there's a group out there for it, and I know that seems pretty silly to say now in the age of internet, where not only is there a group for it, it's all on Reddit. But yeah, back in the day, we would stay in touch this way. Ms. Magazine from 1982. Good for them. Gloria Steinem, I met her, I think, a couple of times. I have a picture of myself with her. Very important figure from my childhood in the 80s and 90s. I was very into MASH, and when MASH ended, I saved this, and something, interview with Harry Morgan. Again, just some old magazines, and this is a Vanagon owner's manual. I really wanted one of those, by the way. More magazines, Byte magazine from 1980. I've been reading a bit of the history of cryptography, of modern cryptography. And I was into computers at this time. I did TRS-80 starting in 1978 when I was 10 years old, or maybe a little later, 1980, so right around then. And I was reading these magazines, the ads are fantastic. And cryptography didn't really exist in the way that we use it now. There was no, it was not an everyday thing, which is kind of amazing to think of. I mean, passwords existed because that's a fairly simple thing, but the idea of sending a secret message through a computer did not exist. 1976 was the publication of Diffie and Hellman's paper. It took a few years for RSA to become a thing, and then there were legal battles. Very interesting. Sorry, this is just what I'm into at the moment. More computer stuff, Commodore, Amiga. I think this might be no, this isn't the first Mac User magazine, but I used to work for the same company as Mac User. I worked upstairs from them at Mac Week. It's very tempting. I won't do this on camera because I'm sure it'll be boring, but actually I will. I'm just looking through the editorial board. This was 87. I became involved in 93 just to see if I know anybody. I guess I should make this legible to you folks as well. Yeah, nobody jumps out right now. I think Neil Shapiro, John Dvorak I met, I was interviewed by him on camera about spam, I think. Anyway, about a company I was working with. Pick this up somewhere. I'm into the Beatles. Lots of fun. Let's get a proper focus on that. I have to work out a better system for this. There we go. Using a small aperture, but I don't think it's doing enough. Okay, computer. Wow, there is just too much in here. This is the Interlaken newspaper when I was a student there, 1983. Computer. This is all probably mostly computer. Yeah, it's computer stuff. It's some older magazines like this one, The American. What year is that? Man, does that look like a 1943 picture or what? In the service of the nation. I think this was a military magazine distributed in the military. Very good condition though for 1940s. Let's see what else we have here. Ooh, okay. I know I said I wasn't going to talk too much about things in here, but I do have to talk about anything that moves. This was a bisexual magazine that started coming out in, I think, 1991. I have all the issues, or at least all the earlier issues. I kind of was in the bi community in the early 90s, kind of dropped out, then got back in through my partner at the time who was active in it, Amy. We met in 98, so I was sort of involved again 98 to 2003. And she was actually the art director for the later issue, so this is one of her covers that she art directed. But my history with it starts with the first issue where I actually show up, and I do have to show this off. Because there was some question about what should we call it. And I went to a planning meeting and people were like, we should call it Love, Everything, Bi, Beauty. And it was all this, I'm sorry, but it was just kind of hippie crap that didn't make any sense and was unappealing and all this. So, where is it? Oh, there we go. We are proud of the title. The brainstorm of Tom Geller, author of Bisexuality, a Reader and Source Book. It is doing exactly what it was designed to do, to create movement. And the way that the title actually came about was everybody was sitting around and I say, saying, oh, it should be called All of Us, Both of Us, Everything, blah, blah. And I was just getting kind of tired of it. And I said, how about anything that moves, after the joke that like bisexuals will fuck anything that moves. And everybody laughed and said, no, we can't do that. But then the conversation continued and they said, well, why can't we do that? And that started it off. So that was a fun box. It's going to take me a while to sort through that and figure out where to put everything. But yeah, glad I did it.